Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraya. Ashtaprayashu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavate Uttamaśloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nistiki. Om Gnanathimidandasya Gnananjana Shalakaya. Tattvamilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini. Nirushesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare. So now Kapil Muni is going to speak about pure devotion. मद्गुणश्रुतिमात्रेण मयि सर्वगुहाशये मनोगतिरविच्छिन्ना यथा गङ्गाम्भसोऽम्बुधौ लक्षणं भक्तियोगस्य निर्गुणस्य ह्युदाहृतम् अहेतुकी अव्यवहिता या भक्ति पुरुषोत्तमे. The manifestation of unadulterated devotional service is exhibited when one's mind is at once attracted to hearing the transcendental name and qualities of the Supreme Person of Godhead, who is residing in everyone's heart. Just as the water of the Ganges flows naturally down towards the ocean, such devotional ecstasy, uninterrupted by any material condition, flows towards the Supreme Lord. I'm going to read again. The manifestation of unadulterated means pure devotional service. Pure devotional service is exhibited when one's mind is at once attracted. Mind at once attracted to hearing the transcendental name and qualities of Supreme Lord. So mind at once attracted to hearing transcendental name and qualities of Supreme. Just as water of Ganges flows naturally down towards the ocean, such devotional ecstasy, uninterrupted by any material condition, flows towards the Supreme Lord. So, four important parts: mind at once attracted to hearing the transcendental name and qualities, uninterrupted by any material condition. But the basic principle of this unadulterated pure devotional service is love of Godhead. Madguna Shruti Matrena. Madguna. Just after hearing about the transcendental qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. These qualities are called Nirguna. Supreme Lord is uncontaminated by the modes of material nature. Therefore, he is attractive to the pure devotee. There is no need to practice meditation to attain such attraction. The pure devotee is already in the transcendental stage, and the affinity between him and the Supreme Person of Godhead is natural and is compared to the Ganges water flowing towards the sea. See, this one, Supreme Lord is attractive to the pure devotee. Now, we might be thinking Supreme Lord is attractive to us also, isn't it? All of us have attraction to the Supreme Lord. But the one another quality of this devotee who is a pure devotee is that there is no simultaneously, there's no attraction to material. There's only attraction to Krishna. For us right now, we are in contaminated state. So we have attraction to Krishna, we also have attraction to material. But a pure devotee is one who doesn't have attraction to material things. For such a pure devotee, is already on the transcendental stage. His affinity, his love, his affection for the Lord is natural, and it naturally flows. The flow of Ganges water cannot be stopped by any condition. Similarly, a pure devotee's attraction for the transcendental name, form, and pastimes of the Lord cannot be stopped by any material condition. So, attraction for the name, form, pastimes means one, irrespective of the devotee's material position, he is always attracted towards Krishna, Krishna's name, form, pastimes. His attraction doesn't cease. It's not like, okay, I'm just taking a break. I'm taking a break from being attracted to Krishna. No, it cannot be stopped. Even if a material condition is such that otherwise it would have been stopped, but for a pure devotee, irrespective of whatever material condition, it cannot be stopped. It cannot be, meaning it is not possible because his attraction is so natural. And the attraction for the transcendental name, form, and pastimes of Supreme Lord in Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission automatically manifests as the fire for preaching. The word avichinna, without interruptions, is very important in this connection. No material conditions can stop the flow of material of devotional service of a pure devotee. We saw that in the life of Srila Prabhupada and also of great acharyas at this point of time in ISKCON. No material condition can stop the flow. So we have to see in our lives where we are, and we have to ultimately move towards this. Small challenges like maybe some headache, some minor health problems or some other problems, etc. They are though we should not even bother about them. Even sometimes when it is acute, when we are really going through some major suffering, still devotional service cannot stop. Chanting cannot stop. Reading cannot stop. Great devotees, they don't even stop their preaching because their body runs on spiritual energy. So somehow we have to continue, keep the flow. And I'm saying we have to keep the flow because we have to attempt, we have to try. But for a pure devotee, it doesn't have to try, it doesn't stop. It cannot stop. Prabhupada, in his last moment, also before leaving this material world, he was dictating purport to Srimad Bhagavatam. So, ahaituki, the word ahaituki means without reason. A pure devotee does not render devotional loving service to the person devoted for any cause or for any benefit, material or spiritual. Look at this. Not even for spiritual benefit. We are not doing all of this because I want to make progress in bhakti. That is also not pure devotion. A pure devotee does it just does it just because it pleases Krishna. Just to please Krishna, that's all. This is the first symptom of unalloyed devotion, anyavilashita shunyam. He has no desire to fulfill by rendering devotional service. He has no desire to fulfill, be it material or spiritual. Like no desire means no desire. Such devotional service is meant for the Purushottama, the Supreme Personality, not for anyone else. Sometimes pseudo devotees show devotion to many demigods, thinking the forms of the demigods to be same as the Supreme Lord. It is specifically mentioned here in our that bhakti is meant only for the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Narayana, Vishnu, or Krishna, not for anyone else. Hmm. The Haituki without reason. Avyavahita. Avyavahita means without cessation. Same thing. Haituki apratihata. A pure devotee must engage in the service of the Lord 24 hours a day without cessation. His life is so molded that at every moment and every second, he engages in some sort of devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So, our whole business is to continuously keep molding our life. Mold, 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 change, 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 change. Uh, so initially we had 0 minutes and 0 seconds in devotional service. Now we have whatever 2 hours, then we should make it 3 hours, then we should make it 4 hours, and eventually at every minute and every second. And mold means there is an effort we have to put. That is surrender. When we surrender only, then we will mold according to this formula. Another meaning of the word Abhyavahita is that the interest of the devotee and the interest of the Supreme Lord are at the same level. The devotee has no interest but to fulfill the transcendental desire of the Supreme Lord. Such spontaneous service unto the Supreme Lord is transcendental and is never contaminated by the modes of nature. These are the symptoms of pure devotion, which is free from all contamination of material nature. So just see this mode of goodness, freeing oneself from material miseries. This is devotion in mode of goodness. So mukti is in the mode of goodness. Mukti means we want to get rid of material miseries. That's only in the mode of goodness. But pure devotion, he has no reason, has no cause, there's no reason for any benefit, material or spiritual. It's simply for the pleasure of the Lord. Salokya sasti samipya sarupya ikatvam apyuta diyamanam na grananti vinamat sevanam janah. A pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation. This was the previous verse. That mukti in the mode of goodness. The pure devotee does not accept any kind of liberation. Salokya, Sasti, Samipya, Sarupya, or Ekatva. Sayujya. Ekatva or Sayujya. Even though they are offered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Chaitanya teaches us how to execute pure devotional service out of spontaneous love for the Supreme Lord. In the Shikshastaka, I praise to the Lord, O Lord, na dhanam, na janam, na sundari. I do not wish to gain from you any wealth, nor do I wish to have a beautiful wife, nor do I wish to have many followers. All I want from you is that in life after life, I may remain a pure devotee at your lotus feet. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not talking about going back to Godhead. He's just saying, I want to just remain a pure devotee at your lotus feet. That's all. But of course, Prabhupada said going back home back to Godhead. That is good, better than, of course, very better than saying I want to come back to this material world. But the highest class is I just want to remain a pure devotee at your lotus feet wherever you put me. There's a similarity between the prayers of Lord Chaitanya and the statements of Srimad Bhagavatam. Lord Chaitanya prays in life after life. indicating that a devotee does not even desire the cessation of birth and death. The yogis and empiric philosophers desire cessation of the process of birth and death. But a devotee is satisfied even to remain in this material world and execute devotional service. It is clearly stated herein that a pure devotee does not desire ekatva, oneness with the Supreme Lord, as desired by the impersonalists. To become one with the Supreme Lord is beyond the dream of a pure devotee. Sometimes he may accept promotion to the Vaikuntha planets to serve the Lord there, but he will never accept merging into the Brahman effulgence, which he considers worse than hellish. Such ekatva or merging into the effulgence is called kaivalya, but the happiness derived from kaivalya is considered by the pure devotee to be hellish. Why? Because the devotee is so fond of rendering service to the Lord that what will I do with kaivalya? Forget about kaivalya. That the five kinds of liberation are not important for him because he wants to just engage in service. If one is engaged in pure devotional, transcendental loving service, it is understood that he has already achieved liberation. So bhakti is greater than mukti. Bhakti is greater than mukti. When a devotee is promoted to the spiritual world, Vaikuntha receives the four kinds of facilities. One of these is Salokya, living in the same planet as Supreme Lord. The Supreme Person, in his different planetary expansions, lives on innumerable Vaikuntha planets, and the chief planet is Krishna Loka. Just as within the material universe, the chief planet is the sun, in the spiritual world, the chief planet is Krishna Loka. From Krishna Loka, the bodily effulgence of Lord Krishna is distributed not only to the spiritual world but to the material world as well. It is covered by matter, however, in the material world. In the spiritual world, there are innumerable Vaikuntha planets, and on each one, the Lord is predominating deity. A devotee can be promoted to each such Vaikuntha planet to live with the Supreme Person of Godhead, that is Salokya. In Sasti liberation, the opulence of the devotee is equal to the opulence of the Supreme Lord. Samipya means to be personal associate of the Supreme Lord. Sarupya, bodily features of the devotee are exactly like those of the Supreme Person. But for two or three symptoms found exclusively on the transcendental body of Lord. Shivatsa, for example, the hair on the chest of the Lord, particularly distinguishes him from his devotees. A pure devotee does not accept these five kinds of spiritual existence, even if they are offered. And he certainly does not hanker after material benefits, which are all insignificant in comparison with spiritual benefits. When Prahlad Maharaja was offered some material benefit, he stated, "My lord, I've seen that my father achieved all kinds of material benefits, and even the demigods were afraid of his opulence. But still, in a second, you have finished his life and all his material prosperity." For a devotee, there's no question of desiring any material or spiritual prosperity. He simply aspires to serve the Lord. That is his highest happiness. So we have to come to this stage. We have to come to this stage of not desiring anything else. No happiness from any other means. The only happiness should be to please Krishna. He's very exalted actually, because some devotees have grossly big material desires. Some other have subtle, small material desire. And Prabhupada said even if there is a iota of material desire, we can't go back to Krishna. And that is a pure devotee. And that is his highest happiness. स एवि भक्ति योगाख्य आत्यंतिक उदाहृतः येनातिव्रज येनातिव्रज त्रिगुणन् मद्भावायोपपद्यते. But attaining the highest platform of devotional service, I have explained, one can overcome the influence of the three modes of material nature and be situated in the transcendental state as is the Lord. Sripad Sankaracharya, who is supposed to be the leader of the impersonalist school of philosophers, has admitted in the beginning of his comments on Bhagavad Gita that Narayana is beyond the material creation. Except for him, everything is within the material creation. It is also confirmed in the Vedic literature that before the creation there was only Narayana, neither Lord Brahma nor Shiva existed. Only Narayana, or Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu or Krishna, is always in the transcendental position beyond the influence of material creation. The material qualities of goodness, passion, and ignorance cannot affect the position of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, he is called Nirguna. Here, the same fact is confirmed by Lord Kapila. One who is situated in pure devotional service is also transcendentally situated, as is the Lord. Just as the Lord is unaffected by the influence of material modes, so too are his pure devotees. So, this is also a very easy way of finding out whether somebody is pure or not. He is not just affected by the modes. One who is not affected by the three modes is called a liberated soul, Brahmabhuta. Brahmabhuta Prasannatma is a stage of liberation. Am Brahmasmi, I am not this body. It is applicable only to the person who constantly engages in devotional service of Krishna and is thus in the transcendental stage, is above the influence of the three modes of material. So the difference between Gnani and Bhakta is Gnani has to come to this Brahmabhuta stage through his whatever mental speculation. For a Bhakta, he simply engages in devotional service, he comes to Brahmabhuta stage. That is why it's not their cause. Transcendental stage is not the cause uh, for devotion. That is for a Gnani. For a Gnani, Bahunam Janmanamante Gnanavan Mam Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvati Samatma Dudurlabha. So Gnani first accomplishes Brahmabhuta, then Brahmabhuta Prasannatma Nasotati Akankshati. Samasarveshu Bhuteshu Mad Bhaktim Labate Param. Then he gets Bhakti. But for a devotee, he just engages in pure devotional service. He doesn't have to go through this karma, gnana process. And he becomes Traigunya Vishwaveda, Nistraigunya Bhavad. He transcends the modes. So bhakti is so powerful. Simply engaging in bhakti actually helps us to go beyond material modes. But as I've been telling multiple times, the reason why we are not able to transcend is because we are holding on to the modes. If we let go of the modes, then we will automatically transcend. But since we are holding on to the modes, holding on to our material likes, dislikes, etc., we are not able to transcend. But bhakti is so powerful that we can very easily transcend. It is a misconception of the impersonalists that one can worship any imaginary form of the Lord or Brahman and at the end merge in the Brahman effulgence. Of course, to merge into the bodily effulgence of the Supreme Lord is also liberation, as explained in the previous verse. Ekatva is also liberation. But that sort of liberation is never accepted by any devotee. For qualitative oneness is immediately attained as soon as one is situated in devotional service. Mukti rupam swarupena vyustiti. As soon as we engage in devotional service, we already become liberated. For devotee, that qualitative equality, which is a result of impersonal liberation, is already attained. He does not have to try for it separately. It is clearly stated here that simply by pure devotional service, one becomes qualitatively as good as the Lord Himself. Meaning he becomes Brahmabhuta. He comes to Brahmabhuta, he becomes Brahman. He is Brahman, he realizes he is Brahman. Okay, I think we'll do this tomorrow. On Monday. Any questions?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Prabhu, one question, just a random thought. We all know that all demigods they are in exalted positions. Are they in liberated stage, Prabhu?
No,
Like
they're called Mishra Bhaktas. They are mixed devotees. They're exalted, but they have material desires.
Okay, then only a pure bhatta can achieve the liberated state or something like
No,
that.
liberation can be achieved by gnanis also, who don't have any material desires, but they want to merge into the personal effulgence of the Lord. So they can also achieve liberation. And they want Sayudhya, Ekatva, becoming one with the, become just a particle in the material, in the bodily effulgence of the Lord. Bhakta actually, see, by it is very easy for us to, we are already liberated because we are actually engaged in devotional service. If we just come to the stage of, if we just by chanting, we just stop doing all the aparadas, we are liberated. But we are not interested in liberation. We are interested in achieving Krishna Prema. That is why this process takes time. Otherwise, this process is so powerful that simply by chanting for a few years, we give up all the offenses, we are liberated. We reach Brahmabhuta stage. But then we might again take birth if you have not completed, if you have not achieved Krishna Prema. But that birth is not because of karma. Okay, that birth is just for us to complete our bhakti and achieve Krishna Prema. So liberation is nothing. Bilamangal Thakur says that mukti and siddhi are waiting at the door of a devotee saying that please utilize me, please engage me in your service. A devotee doesn't care. He doesn't want mukti, he doesn't want siddhi. He just wants bhakti. Okay. Anything else?
Pranam Prabhuji.
Yeah. No.
Prabhuji, like we read about Prahlad Maharaj. So I have written a prayer from Brihad Bhagavatamrit. It's a very nice prayer.
Mm.
Like, can we recite that prayer although we are far, far away from this? Like, it goes like this. Nath yoni sahasreshu teshu teshu vrajamiham. नहीं sorry येषु येषु व्रजामिहं तेषु तेषु अच्युत भक्ति अच्युतस्तु सदा त्वय. The
Mm.
translation is, O Master, in all the thousands of births through which I must wander in this world, please let me have unfailing devotion to you. The
Absolutely.
infallible. Although we
Absolutely.
are in the gutter, like, but we have, like, can we recite this? Like, I really like this prayer, so I have written it today. I just got reminded of this.
No, we should recite. I mean, see what we what we should not do is above our qualification. Our qualification right now is begging only, right? So begging means prayers. So any prayer in any bhakti shastra which actually attracts us, we should chant. It's actually one of the prescribed ways to actually make progress. Is to
Right.
actually chant prayers. So it's very nice. I mean, if something is has influenced you, is had an impact on you, then it's good to meditate on that. Keep reciting, meditate on the meaning, and then that itself is devotional service.
Yeah, but the situation currently is not so good, but still I have like
Yeah, but
I'm
desire has to, devotee has to have desire. If
right.
devotee doesn't have desire, then what is it? Devotee means desire for service, desire to be able to do bhakti nicely, freely, openly, without inhibitions. So obviously, we can pray for mercy. We have to pray for mercy. If we don't pray
Hmm.
for mercy, we're not going to get it. Right? This is also very important. Like when the child cries, only parents look at the child. Otherwise, child might have a stomach pain, but nobody knows. So we should cry. We should the more and more prayers. Like I said, every day chanting is crying. Did I share this realization about how important Nama? Yeah, Chiranjeev Bro was asking about chanting. So I was just thinking about this, saying, see, this chanting process. Somehow I don't know why I got connected to this, but I'm anyway going to say the chanting process. Why we are being pushed to develop attraction to Nama? Can anybody say why is it that there is so much emphasis on Nama and Shravanam?
Because Nama is non-different from Lord.
Okay, I mean, even Bhagavatam is not different from the Lord.
Actually, Nama is more powerful than Lord.
Okay, Nama is more powerful than Lord.
So that is the like cleaning scrub, Prabhu, for the heart.
No, even Bhagavatam is cleaning scrub.
Yuga Dharma.
Mm, you're not doing all this because of its Yuga Dharma. Yuga Dharma will not give Krishna Prema. This is just special mercy in this Yuga. I'm asking two questions. Please think about this attentively. I'm asking why it is Nama and why it is Shravanam. There are two parts of the process, right? You're chanting the Nama and we are also expected to hear. Vinod Prabhu, the other day you were asking, right? Saying that you are, you're trying to remember the lotus feet or form of the Lord,
Mhm.
etc. So
Yes.
I was thinking about that question also. And then I got this very deep realization the other day. Any thoughts, anybody?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Mataji.
The sense, the sound sense is the most powerful. So when we keep repeatedly hearing, and so, like the name, like Rukmani heard about the glories of the Lord, the name of the Lord, and she got attracted. So in the same way, when we keep hearing about a person, you keep taking name of the person, but the curiosity develops to know more about him. Like
Okay.
when you say America, you want to go, you want to visit, you want to see something. So initially, to our level, the name is the starter. Like when you start your ABC, then maybe you can get into the leelas, you can get into the swarupas, and it's easier, and it's more easier than to concentrate on the deities of the Lord.
So what is it? What does it have to do with? Okay, connect this with death.
Like
Connect
Prabhu,
this question with death.
Yeah, Prabhu, even because it's sound vibration. Even when Narada Muni gave it to this thing, he became only mara karne se bhi Valmiki ban gaya. Us समय, if you say, oh, concentrate on the lotus feet of the Lord, maybe it is difficult. But Ram, the name of the Lord is so easy; it connects you. Bhagwan, like everything is within the name of the Lord. It is nectarian.
Okay, one. I'm just requesting one thing, all of you. Just step yourself. It's not something that anybody would want to do, but just put yourself. Just imagine that you're dying. Just imagine that you're dying.
Hearing senses work like till the last, like
No, I want you to go into graphically into this situation, right?
You scream
what
when you're
is our
scared. You scream when you're scared. You shout.
We shout,
Yeah,
we scare. Okay, we scream.
when you're at the death, naam hi niklega na, Prabhu. Like the first thing which comes is whoever you
Okay,
attached,
okay.
that name comes.
Okay,
Whether it's
okay.
material world, whoever you're attached, maa, behan, jisse bhi. So
Okay.
Bhagwan se attachment naam Ram ka
Naam
hoga
aayega.
to muh
Okay,
pe Ram hi aayega.
okay. Anything else? We understand that death. Yeah, we understand that death. I mean, like I've seen my father's death very closely, and there is no activity. Like a jiva might not even be able to take the name. This is at the time of death. At the time of death, meaning just next moment our body, we are going to leave the body. Okay, we might not have anything coming out of our mouth. Why Shravanam?
It purifies our souls.
अरे बाबा वो सब हो गया रे बाबा ये purification सब is now. I'm talking about final test.
Yeah, so Prabhuji, one Mataji already mentioned, right? Because that's the only sense that is active, So at that time, at the time of death.
Yeah, so the important point is that the devotees will be around us and shouting Hare Krishna Mahamantra.
Yes, Prabhu, like
Right?
right now, when I was in Kanpur, I told my brother-in-law is in coma, and he's not a devotee, but 24 hours of Prabhupada's dhun, my
yes,
sister
absolutely.
chanting there, like when we were sitting. God forbid, if he closes, he's already like a dead, like a person alive, dead, So he's in coma 10 days, it's not even opened his eyes. So that is the only sound vibration, because the senses even till the end work.
No,
The only
senses may or
sound
may
while
not,
eating.
senses may or may
Only
not work.
sound. Only
Right? See,
sound.
the attraction
Pita.
to the nama. Right? See,
Pita.
the whole point is that when during the life we are attracted to nama, as soon as we remotely hear Krishna somewhere, somebody is speaking, it'll be like we are in a cave, and some remote, somewhere somebody is like shouting like Krishna's name, like some very bleak sound comes to our ears, and we suddenly hear Krishna and we are done. Right now, but if we don't have develop attachment to hearing the nama now, how are we going to hear then? See, attachment is very important, because at that time so many things will be coming. Something which really attracts us will hold our attention, even for a fraction of a second, right? So that Shravanam of the Nama, I continuously, I mean, from that day when Vinod Prabhu said, I was deeply thinking about this, saying that there must be some deep reason why our acharyas have been so much, why Prabhupada has been so much harping on this Shravanam. And I realized, saying that at the last moment, we might not be such a exalted devotee that, we are in Samadhi, and, we are leaving our body in full control over our senses, and we are able to think about Krishna. That's for exalted souls. Right? For ordinary jivas like us, we'll be in trouble at death. Right? And the only thing that can come to our rescue is Nama. Some devotees mercifully, if they come around us. Why will devotees come around us? If we have done something nice, some good service, and somebody feels, okay, this person is going to leave us now. Okay, let us go. Let us gather around him and or her and chant. Only then there is hope. So that is the reason why we should engage in Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. We should develop good relations with devotees, serve devotees. Good relation means serving devotees. We should serve devotees to such an extent that devotees will feel, oh, this devotee is not going to be with us for too long. No, we want to be with that devotee now. So no jnana. I mean, nobody is going to be around us because we are some knowledgeable, some scholar, right? Some devotee scholar also. No. Who will come? For whom will people come? Who has lived their life for others? Only for such devotees might come in spite of their busy schedules of preaching and this and that and all that. They might still come. No. We want to be with this devotee when he's passing away. Right. So that is why this is this whole Trinadapi, the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the mood of service to the mission, the mood of being humble. I mean, all this is connected, because at the time of death, this is what is going to come in. We are going to be tested in the time of death. But we have a whole life of preparation. We have a whole life of preparation. So we have to develop attachment to this Nama. We have to. There is no other option. And by being a humble, nice devotee, serving in the midst of other devotees, our life should be dedicated to service of Hari Guru Vaishnavas. Then this is possible. Okay, well, stop here. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vancha Kalpatarvishta Kripa, Sindhu Devata Patikanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha, Nanda Vaishnavandi ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Prabhu,